Now, one of the problem of installing a program outside of PuppyLinux environment, as we have done, is that you actually end up with two different versions of uh, Deadbeef in this case. So here, the one that we installed in OPT folder, Deadbeef. When you just click on the Deadbeef, you're gonna get a Deadbeef starting, and you have 1.95 compared to if you go ahead and look under USR bin, and you have another Deadbeef. So here DADB Deadbeef, if you start that, you're gonna get a 1.84. So to overcome this problem is you can go ahead and just copy the Deadbeef here to here, and because we can just go ahead and erase this one first, and then go ahead and move it over into copy, or you can actually symbolic, but we'll go ahead and absolute is fine. And then if we start that here now, you're going to get 1.95, I should say. Okay, now given that limitation, what we can do now is that's all set up, and what we can do is go ahead and configure the 1.95. Okay, so the first thing generally with a Deadbeef I do is you just have to get into design mode, and then just erase everything. So right click and then erase, delete. Right click here, what's called the seek bar, and we'll just go ahead and erase this playback controls, and then we'll go ahead and delete. And we also want to delete these lines here, and so let's go ahead and try to grab this a little bit more. So delete. Now we have a clean slate. Now we can go ahead and right click again, insert, and left and right is I want the album up here and the spectrogram here, so we'll just go ahead and grab it in the middle and roughly just eyeball it here, and then right click here, and then we want to go to this time up and top and bottom, and I want to have another one, insert top and bottom. Okay, and then we're gonna grab this here down a bit and down this, and then in between my preference is just go ahead and left and right here, and I put in a seek bar here, and here I put in a playback controls, and then just go ahead and try to move it over a little bit, and then within this quadrant we want to get an album art. In my case, this is what I prefer, and then this is spectrogram. Spectrum is fine. And then I forgot to here, let me just delete it first. I need to insert a left and right, so this is where the view meter goes, and let me just go ahead and put in the insert, and then view meter is because we put in the plugin. So here, and then here we're gonna insert spectrogram. This is album art already, and here I prefer playlist with tabs, and then roughly eyeball it, so we'll just go ahead and move it roughly to where we want it for now. Track number, and this is the duration, and just move this over. Okay, and then because we don't want it to be adjustable here by someone else, what we can do is you can go ahead and lock it up. So we'll just right click where that arrow changes, and then height, we're gonna lock at top and bottom, so there's no way to adjust top and bottom. So but right now we'll just go ahead and stop well, let's just go ahead and put in a music folder. So now you have to find where your music folder in your system. But let's go ahead and, in my case, we'll go ahead and put in a MP3 folder here and see what it looks like. So you can see that now it has the so this proportion, we want to change it a little bit here. Okay, now we can lock up the other controls. Let me just move this over a little bit more here. Okay, and we can lock up pretty much all the other controls. So we'll just go ahead and go over here and then right click, top pane height. So this, now we want that lock. We locked the top pane height, and we want to lock this, lock the right pane. So, and then most importantly, we want to lock this. So lock left pane width. So this, so now you are unable to control anything. Oh, we forgot to go ahead and lock the left pane. Okay, that's just fine. So now we're through with the designing mode. Okay, so I think that we'll stop there. Oh, now we'll go ahead and try to finish up with the rest of the configuration. So next is to go ahead. Remember, we played the replay gain settings, and here, so this is where the plugin comes up. And then what I prefer to do is just go ahead and just mark out all track and then apply and then click. So now the other thing what we're gonna do is go into preferences. So right now these are all set correctly in my case, and most of the time it'll be set up automatically. So playback, I prefer to have a processing because apply gain and clip according to the pick. So for me this works. It makes sure that it's not too loud suddenly and so on, and I don't want the previous session continue. So I'll go ahead and unclick that. DSP I don't fool around with. This one I don't fool around with. Appearance I do. So right now you can see override. You can see that the seek bar, which tells you what point of the track that you're in, is blue, and I prefer the FF 4 zeros. So now this has changed, and this is what I prefer. The tab strip has to do with this here, and we want to just override that and something larger. So sans is fine, and then we'll go ahead and see what 20 looks like. So it's so that seems reasonable to me. And selected text, I think this is the one that we want to try to make it red. FF, okay, and then now that turns red. So if you have another tab here, it will be black. So that's fine in this case. And then override again, and right now it's in blue again. And let me just place this so selected is blue, and I don't want this background, so let's just try to make it something little bit out of the ordinary. And then the text you can't see, so because that selected text track is white, so we want to try to make it red again. So here's, and then the other tracks is we'll change the size a little bit, and then I don't want it too dark. It doesn't need to be too dark. So let's see what this looks like. So this is looks okay. So this is how you can adjust the appearance. And even here you can adjust if this, for example, you can change these to a little bit. So it's very, very subtle change from one song to the other. So next we'll go to visualization again. So let's see what we want the visualization. This has to do with bars and so on. So we'll see what this one looks like with a 0, 0 again. And then custom visualization, that's fine. And then we're gonna go ahead and close. And then because we're gonna have to continue on with the keyboard. So appearance with finished network, we don't need to touch hotkeys. What I tend to do is go ahead and just go ahead and remove the these two, and then go all the way down, and then remove this, and then I prefer U as a random unshuffled. Next is N. I don't need to stop. Toggle pause. It's actually M. It pauses, but it also mutes the sound because and then I can click M again and it starts playing again, so I don't need to play previous. I go to P, and then I don't need the toggle pause again. Play is fine, and apply everything and then close. So now let's see what happens if I just go ahead and random is U is fine. So and then previous, next, M is mutes and stops. So I'm just going to give you a rough idea how this is all done. So next, if you prefer to have a color change here, for example, if you want a similar color as here with a view mirror, I can go ahead and right click on it and configure, and then we want the similar color. So we'll just go to the, so right now it's white, tends to be yellow up here, and slightly oranges higher up, and I prefer us to have it, these are all pretty much, we'll just make it all red. And then here, rather than having yellow, I prefer to have maybe a little less red. So you can see how this works now. You can see now the color has changed. So U. So this is how you can configure everything to your preference.